And welcome in, Jims and Jimettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode 43. And no, us playing each other in fantasy hasn't torn our friendship apart. Just this show. So if you're interested in co-hosting, email me at I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm just Yankee Kane. But I am pissed off. Grr, that defense. As soon as he stepped out of the two, I knew it was game over. We'll get to that later. Thank you as always for tuning into the No Substitute for Sports podcast on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button, but only after you hit the like button on this video. Maybe share us around, tell your friends, maybe tell your movie usher as you show them your ticket seat to prove that those teenagers were wrong. I was in the right seat the whole time. I told you. Sorry. I'm getting a little too personal. You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports live, cleaning up anything we don't get to and any breaking news that may happen. Finally, subscribe on YouTube and hit the like button on Facebook. For X-Bomb Sports, we go live for our little pro wrestling show, Bad Karma Wrestling. Me and David Double D Dykstra going over there, like I said, talking headlines, news, notes, results on anything and everything in the pro wrestling world. So much to talk about to you today, though, and so much. Yeah, hold on. I set this up. Let me do this right. So much to talk about. So much to talk about. Oh, okay. There we go. Nah, that's okay. I'm botching it. That's okay. We'll have to set it up for next time.
Hit it.
So much to talk about. So much to talk about. There we go. We'll try and see if we can do that every week. I fucked it up. I had it right in my brain, and I guess I wrote it down. I gotta stop taking those goddamn big dabs. That's cooking frying my brain up. Either way, Bears drop another one. That could have been a win easily. Packers Rip Rypien a new one, and the rest of Week 9 in the NFL will go ahead and hit all the ball games. We got some fantasy talk with you. Look at our personal league, player performances, and a look into Week 10. Finally, a bit of White Sox talk and a dash of Cubs because they were both making new moves, and actually a little bit of wrestling news breaking right before we went on. So a little sprinkling a little bit of that, all that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of FatCat_Streams, and that's with a Z. Mikey J. Fatcat, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. It's a good day. I love that the holiday season's starting to get going. It's my favorite time and ready to get going with the podcast, man.
Oh yeah, it's fall season. It only sucks, our the daylight savings. Everyone's a little groggy, saying the exact same thing. It's right around 2 o'clock, and you're like, damn, it feels like midnight. And you're like, oh Lord Almighty, it's gonna be a long one every single time.
Yeah.
It's whatever the seasonal depression might set in, but make sure you're getting up nice and early. Make sure you get your at least your 8-10 minutes of sunlight and get your vitamin D. Always do those supplements. I don't do it myself, so I may be a little hypocritical, but it's the right thing to do. Take your vitamins to do exactly what Hulk Hogan told you, but not everything that Hulk Hogan told you to do. Just make sure to do the vitamins part. Uh, anything in any how you doing today? Anything crazy? Anything cool?
Nothing much. My parents are on a vacation right now, so we're watching The Family Dog, and
There you go.
it's been a blast. He's a handful, even though he's so small, but it's always fun watching him.
Heck yeah. Enzo's coolio. He's right. He's rocking and rolling. So yeah, hopefully they're enjoying a little vacay, a little time off, a little change of pace. Enjoying a little. I know not gonna give it away, but they're enjoying a little sunlight. So like I said, don't want to dox anybody. Enjoying some nice breezy weather. Um, yeah, nothing too crazy over here. Got one little appetizer on the day, so we can get quickly into that. Why don't we? Why don't we?
Let's do it.
It was the meme that is now a movie. Barbenheimer
Wow.
movie now in the works. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I got from what we're all gathering. I guess we all know the exact same thing. About $1 million budget for Barbenheimer, this B type movie clashing together. I guess we can maybe pull up the what might be the plot to it, but what are your initial thoughts to Barbenheimer the movie?
It makes no sense. I don't understand how, like, give me $1 million budget that I
Yeah,
could use that. This is getting $1 million.
it makes
I
absolutely no sense.
I don't understand what this could even be about. I get like
I
I,
have it right here. While the cast has yet to be announced, the plot from vulture.com, a little excerpt from their article. While the cast has yet to be announced, the plot reportedly follows Dr. Bambi J. Barbenheimer, a scientist doll from Dolltopia, who has a boyfriend named Twink Dollman. After venturing into the real world, Dr. Barbenheimer decides to take nuclear revenge out on the human children, how they treat how human children treat dolls. So, so Dr. J. Barbenheimer wants to nuke the real world because people treat dolls incorrectly. $1 million. It's
I'm
$1 million,
in.
everybody. I'm in. I'm out. I'm in. You
Af-
got me. I am
After that, I'm in.
I am death, destroyer of dolls, whatever, bringer of dolls, whatever the fuck that is. Uh, bonkers to me again.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
It just shows that they'll make a movie out of anything. I mean, there are
they're out of
ridiculous.
ideas.
Yeah, I mean, there are some ridiculous movies out there like Sharknado, and I think it's like there's a movie, what is it, with the killer llama, and then there's
There's
like
rubber with
Sloth.
the Slaughterhouse just coming out. Winnie the Pooh,
Hmm.
Blood and Honey, also just very recent. What was I just about to say off the top of the dome? Oh Lord Almighty. They the I guess the Ring and the Grudge had a crossover similar to Freddy versus Jason back in the day. So I've yet to see that. So there's stuff like that out there. It's there you have it. I mean, just again, go in there with the idea that similar to Barbie, this Barbenheimer's not going to be made for for awards. It's just going to be made for for the shits and giggles, and I guess the extra couple 500. I guess you get a little bit of production from the nuclear bomb that's going to be killing all the children.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I don't know. Were we rooting for or against Dr.
I
Barbenheimer? That
guess
seems
hopefully
crazy.
they stop him. I
We're just gonna have
guess.
to tune in and find out. I'm slowly selling myself as I'm going along and trying to hate on it. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I'm
it,
thinking the same thing. I was not in at all, but after that synopsis, I'm hooked.
not
I
there.
have to see what happens.
Oh, damn, that's Hollywood. They got our ass. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's Barbenheimer, and that's the appetizers. That's really all I got going on very early. Gonna be pretty light on today's episode. If you're good on that, we can just hop into some Bears, hop into some Packers, and then touch upon everything in Week 9. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alrighty. Well, dealer's choice. You want to talk Bear, or want me to talk Bears? You want to dive in on the Packer guys?
I'll hit the Packers
Go for it. Shoot.
first this time around. Um, I didn't know how to feel at first about this game because the Rams have been playing well this year. But I mean, once I saw that Stafford was out and they had some, I don't even know, Brett Rippin or whatever the hell his name is, was starting for the Rams, I was pretty confident Packers could win this game, especially in Lambeau. And they got the job done, especially Aaron Jones getting let loose, as Matt LaFleur said this upcoming week, and he scored the first touchdown for the Packers and had a decent day all around. So it's always good to see. I mean, once Aaron Jones is healthy and he's playing like how he should, then the Packers offense has a way better chance. I mean, Christian Watson got some shots downfield that he was able to catch, and Romeo Dubs getting some catches. And I mean, again, as I said before, once Aaron Jones is able to run and get that running game going, then we can throw it downfield more, and Jordan Love can start cooking. And in the second half, I think he was really good. I saw a picture of the stats. It was very good. He had a great QBR average and just dotting people up from the highlight reel I saw. So love to see that stuff. And Jordan Love, I'm not out on him. A lot of people like just say he's trash and whatnot. Again, I've been saying he's got some good throws, and I think he proved it again that he's a decent quarterback in this game. Packers able to bounce back after some rough weeks, and hopefully they can keep this momentum going. And Matt Floor can keep using Aaron Jones like he should, Matt, because he's our best player out there. Love to see him when he's at his best.
Oh yeah. Touched the ball 24 times. He had 4 catches on 6 targets for Aaron Jones. He had a nice little day. The average might draw you back, but getting 20 carries, that's what you want to see on the day, and the rushing touchdown for Aaron Jones. Yeah, all around a pretty balanced receiving core, receiving attack. No one had more than 4 receptions on there, but again, not really much that you had to do against this Rams team who was down Matthew Stafford, and Rip Rypien just couldn't do anything. I believe the fun day for fantasy footballers was Rip Rypien farts or something like that. That was the word. That was the nickname they used for him. He was awful. So I don't want to take the piss out of this win. A win is a win in the NFL, but surely, yeah, the Rams were down pretty bad. Cooper Kupp had a shit day. Puka Nacua just couldn't find it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Rams would have been. It would have been a little closer. It would have been pretty much a game. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a game time decision with Matthew Stafford. And now the news: they just added Carson Wentz to this squad. Again, Carson Wentz is on the squad. I'm not guaranteeing a win on that side either. So yeah, this Rams team has been the ID, not for Scherzen, but yeah, it's good that the Packers now have their guy back in Aaron Jones. That's the biggest takeaway from this entire thing without a doubt. Uh, Overall, can't really go wrong, like you said. And what's coming up for the Packers is they got the Steelers on the road, the
Hmm.
Chargers, the Lions, and the Chiefs. So those are the next 4 games.
Oh no.
Uh, I mean, to be fair, after that you get a little lighter schedule. You get the Giants, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and the Bears. Depending on how the Vikings look, that might be your only real challenge. The Buccaneers' offense has been on a downtrend. The Carolina Panthers are probably the worst in the league, and then the Bears are the Bears. So there's that. So these next 4 games are going to be the deciding factor if the Packers are for sure in, or if they're dipping their toe in the playoffs, or if they want to be
Uh,
if they're just on their way out. So it's gonna be all power looking ahead. So like I said, didn't get a ton of games in on the morning slate. Had a little bit of family emergency on my end for stuff like that. So I just been kind of checking in on the YouTube highlights. Just didn't get to the Packer game, unfortunately. So nothing too much that I can comment on
oh, that's all good.
other than
It
what's looking at the stat sheet. So
it
yeah.
wasn't really close to begin with most of the times. I mean, it really never was close at all. So
Yeah. No. Yeah. A 7-3 at the very least. And then after that, it was just on from there, it was just nothing going on right
so
for the
the
Rams.
Rams just offense, they did nothing all
Yeah.
game.
Was there anything, Rams interception? Did they both turned the ball over 2 times, so nothing too much there, but 21 first downs to the Rams, 10 first downs that's going to do you in. The time of possession 35-24. So again, it's a win that needed to be had for the Packers, especially at home. So again, if they want to get right and be a playoff team, this is a win they needed to have.
Oh yeah, I mean, as I don't know, realistically thinking, I don't know if we'll make the playoffs, but you know, I always just love seeing the wins, man.
I mean,
Win is a win.
The NFC is never, it's not for sure, and you can still kind of sneak in maybe with an 8-9, 9-8 record in the wild card spot, but it just kind of depends on, again, if the Vikings are still kind of doing well with Josh Dobbs. And again, we'll get to that in a little bit. And
Yeah.
seems like the Pastronaut. I like, did you like that nickname? That's pretty cool. PhD and
Oh yeah, I
he's a
did see
fucking
that.
yeah, he's a fucking astronaut. This guy, he literally has a PhD in like space time, space physics.
Yeah, that is why I saw that he has like a degree in rocket science or
Yeah,
some
there you
shit,
go.
and he's cooking people up.
Yeah, exactly. Any final thoughts on the Packers and Rams game?
Go Pack Go. Fuck the Rams, but I like their helmets. They have some cool helmets. I
Yes.
always think whenever they play the Rams or see the Rams, look at that helmet.
The color, I mean, I do like the color scheme. I like how it goes. I'm not big on yellow, but it's more gold, so I can mesh with that too. So there you have it. Yeah, that's a good way to end that one. uh yeah, if we're good on that, I can transition into the Bears side of things, and another Bears loss.
Mm.
24-17. Bears drop it in the Caesars Superdome, in the Seattle Superdome, or whatever Hulk Hogan botched it as. Just watching highlights and how the game was going, seeing it was close, and it should have been a win for the Bears, and the way that it came out was just so disgusting. Uh, just to open up in like the first 2 quarters for them, two, maybe even 2.5, just calling plays right, moving the ball. And then after a while, after that, again, just went back to same bonehead decisions. And yeah, there's a couple interception, 3 interceptions and a fumble for Tyson Bagent. That's not gonna fly. Ah, I don't even know really to go with this. You got 20 carries for Foreman. That needs to be happening, and he's gonna have a little bit of a revenge game coming up next week. You can't have Taysom Hill tear you up the way that he has been. And I get it. He's an all dual threat. He's their Swiss Army knife, I think as the Eberflus described it. But that just can't happen. These are this Saints team is so weird the way that they're able to move the ball, play football. Like Michael Thomas was shut down, but they still were able to score 24 points on some turnovers. Alvin Kamara didn't have the best game, and still, like I said, able to move the ball and score 3 different times. Not what the Bears should be able to do. So this should have been for sure a win for this squad. I again shows further proves that there's no real QB controversy on this side of things, on the Bears side of things, and as long as Justin Fields is ready to go for Thursday, I think that might be the go. Give him the rest of the way out, because as much as we like Tyson throwing the ball, still again 30 opportunities to throw the ball, just couldn't get it done, couldn't move it. And watching that fourth quarter and the highlights, just that was super frustrating to see that they just weren't able to move past the 50 in just all sorts of ways, between turnovers, just not being able to move the ball, bad calls, and it lack of talent, lack of coaching. That seems to be the consensus, and I would have to agree. Eberflus is not a offensive minded coach, and it's showing that. So I'll leave it with there. I'll leave it at that. Disappointing. This should have been a win for the Bears. Any thoughts on your end for this game before we go into a little light preview, because the Bears got a Thursday game coming up.
Uh, yeah, I mean this was a decent game. On YouTube TV, they have this cool feature. We were able to split screen the Bears and the Packers games, so that was cool. We were kind of watching both of them, and yeah, we were all kind of keeping our eyes on the Bears near the end there because obviously that game was way closer and Bears had so many chances and it's just like the Saints would miss a field goal or just wouldn't get like a turnover on downs or something, and then just Bears would not do anything with the ball, and it's just yeah, just unfortunate. They're driving a little at the end, but then intercepted. So it's just yeah, I mean, I always, even as a Packer fan, I'm always like, damn, that's, it's rough. It's rough to watch the games.
Yeah, it's a tough go, and I mean, just looking at the box score, it's like not, I can't say it's a waste, but like Cole Kmet had a nice day. Even Darnell Mooney finally had a nice little day. 70 yards rushing for Tyson Bagent, so I guess we got a similar Justin
Wow.
Fields-esque performance. But even that, threw 2 touchdowns, threw 3 interceptions, and had that fumble, so that did them in for sure. Three turnover, or excuse me, even more than that. If the Bears even just turned it over 2 less times, if they just held it a little bit longer, they probably would have won this game. Again, like you mentioned, missed field goals, clinking them off doinking them off the uprights, giving the Bears another opportunity, 3 different opportunities to go and score and tie it, or even go out and win it. Because I think, if the Bears score, do they probably go for 2? You can't say for sure, but you might as well, just the way that they were moving it. It's wild. It is very frustrating. So going into Thursday, going up against the Panthers, you're going up against the worst team in the league. If you're not already identified as the worst team in the league, this is a must win. This is a must win as a Bears franchise. Bears are currently 4-point favorites right now from what I'm looking at. Rightfully so. The Panthers are just god awful. So what is there really to worry about? I mean, Chuba Hubbard is nothing, nothing. Miles Sanders to do that, to counter that as well. Like that, those are your 1-2 punt combination. Not really too worried about that.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Bears do key in pretty well on the run, but yeah, it would be Adam Thielen would have to be the focus. But honestly, if they can just destroy Bryce Young and just if Montez Sweat can actually get in there and demolish and just disrupt that, that would be nice. Not glad that they got that extension done. People are talking about 90 paying too much for a guy that hasn't had 10 plus sacks. You're getting a head start on the market. You're getting a guy already signed up for next year who would have been a top priority by other teams to get this done. And it's just one less thing you got to worry about in the draft. You have so many key like positions to fill. That's one less position you have to worry about. You have a defensive end that you've known can get to the quarterback. So thank you for doing this deal. Try and ink up Jalen Johnson. If not, at worst case scenario, you have to franchise tag him, which that could be a little pricey. But it is what it is until that deal's inked up. And on paper, there's so many names that you can go on the defensive side. You're like, all right, awesome. Like Montez Sweat, Jaquan Brisker, Tremaine Edmonds. You got TJ Edwards. If you finally get him signed, Jalen Johnson, you'll have Eddie Jackson back there. On paper, this defense can look decent. You can still add a couple names, maybe add something to the defensive line over the draft or even in free agency. I'm probably even skipping Kyler Gordon or Stevenson, also the cornerbacks, the other cornerbacks that aren't Jalen Johnson. This can be an okay defense. I'm not sitting here saying, a Bears 85 defense. This can be a defense can actually keep them in games and long enough for the offense to actually do something. So again, come time, that's me again. It's the long-winded way of me saying that this was a good move for Montez Sweat to get signed by the Bears. I like it. Get him going. And then, again, at every level, you have an A caliber player in Montez Sweat on the line. You'll have Tremaine Edmonds in the middle field, and then you'll have Jalen Johnson in the secondary. So that should be the goal for the season. Beyond that, just actually looking at and then it's after this year. They had I'm going all over the place, but they had Al Michaels on ESPN 1000 this morning as I was coming home today. And I agree. There's a ton of actual storylines going into this game. On paper, the records are awful. 2-7 going up against 1-8 now for the Panthers against the Bears, or 1-7. I think the Panthers might have had their bye already. Disgusting. But you want to see if Justin Fields plays. And if he plays well, hopefully that gets him in going. If he plays bad, do they bring Tyson Bagent back in? And then is that just curtains for Justin Fields? On the flip side, you want it, still staying on the Bears side, Deontay Foreman, revenge game above all else. That's the thing. He should get 50 carries for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. So there you go. That's going to be the Deontay Foreman game. But on the flip side, they're going to want to see Bryce Young. They want to see this trade value to do that crazy little they'll do an animation where the draft, and then they'll like, oh, they sent them off, and like a boot
Yeah, there'll
kicking.
be some
Yeah, there'll
graphic.
be like some boot kicking like DJ Moore to Chicago, and then us catching him, and then the sending the draft pick off or something like that. Yeah, and then
He was kicked like just like flipping and
yeah, and a double
oh
doinks off something, of course, because they got to mention that.
oh
A gugunk gugunk.
mm.
So yeah, I'm doing your work for you, Amazon Prime. Hire me, do something. Either way, that's gonna
Hopefully
be
they're listening.
yeah, a lot of storylines going into this ball game for sure. So don't tune out entirely. Hopefully this is a win for the Bears. Because again, I can't think of really anybody that's a threat on that offense other than old man Adam Thielen at this point, and he's cooking. So just in PPR leagues, he's absolutely cooking alive. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Any real thoughts on this upcoming Thursday night game?
Uh, it should just probably going to be a rough one, but like you said, the Bears need to win this one because they will not be able to. They won't be able to live it down this season if they lose
Yes,
to the Panthers. So
yes. All eyes will be on who's going to be starting and how they perform in Justin Fields and or Tyson Bagent.
yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
and if Tyson Bagent goes, they need to call the same similar game they did for the first half of that Saints game or that entire Raiders game. Just give them 5-yard dump offs. This Panthers defense is not good at all. Luke Kuechly is not on that team anymore. Nobody is on that team anymore. So,
They're getting Blake Martinez.
oh, is that they're just picking? Is he on like the practice squad or
They
something?
signed him. He got banned from Pokemon card
Oh, that's
selling,
right. Oh my God. Hit that
and
thief. Make
and
sure you
now he's on the Panthers, I
Foreman is
think.
gonna run through him for a touchdown. It's gonna be that Bo Jackson that clip when he ran into the Boz or whatever the fuck. Just steamrolled him. Brian Bosworth. Yeah, that's hopefully that's gonna be the case. Predicting a score is crazy, but I mean I can only hope that the Bears win by like 2 touchdowns. That would just again, just a good confidence builder. Nothing, again, I'm not standing on tables and saying that the Bears are going to the playoff run. It would be incredibly, they would need to go on a run of a lifetime starting now. And even then, they would only be 10-7. So there you have it. Bears Panthers coming up on Thursday night. Tune in, and I'll be recapping it come Friday on the live show. If you get on the Thursday night preview, we can go back into week 9 and recap the rest of the games. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Awesome possum. All righty. We got week 9 in the books. Going on week 10. Crazy. That's already halfway through the season, Mikey. Check time. Are already halfway through.
I'll never make fun of time.
Never make fun of time. uh Chiefs and Dolphins were not across the. What would you even say? They were in Europe. They were in Germany
They
for
were in
Frankfurt's
Germany, yeah.
game. Yeah, not across the pond. Chiefs win 21-14. When I came home, it was 21-0. So I missed basically all the Chiefs scoring. Or that not basically. I did miss all the Chiefs scoring. Dolphins continue to prove that they are just bum beaters, the label that we threw on them last week or the week before, and that's nothing more. And no Taylor Swift equals bad Kelsey. I don't know if you saw that clip where
I did.
someone straight up asked him. Yeah, if anyone else didn't know this already, someone straight up asked him, is Taylor Swift going to be at the game? And I don't know if he's going to get fined for acknowledging like gambling lines and stuff like that. I don't know if that's in the NFL protocol or whatever that is. It is the no fun league. Everyone was also pointing that out with the Josh Allen point, and they got a flag for
Yeah,
that.
that was
That
so
sack
dumb.
that you pointed out when they got the guy in the Buccaneers
It
or
was the
it was the
Commanders.
commander sacking Mac Jones, and it was a sack. It was nothing more than a sack, and they called roughing the passer, which is crazy. And I don't think they were. After a while, I thought it just became memes because it was just regular runs, and they were just lowering their shoulder, like, oh, Deontay Foreman got fined $40,000 for this run. It was just a routine run up the middle. He got tackled. Like it just got more playful like that after a while. So I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if those are the fines. Where was I even going on this? Yada yada. Back. I was talking about Travis Kelce acknowledging the
Yeah.
fumbling. uh, yeah. So he had a bad game. So I guess that'll be exactly to be the continued to the narrative. If Taylor Swift is there, good game and a win. If he's not there, don't touch his lines. If anything, take his unders. But the Chiefs might still win. Did you have any thoughts on this game? Anything anywhere at all? I made out like a bandit. I had the Chiefs money line at minus 125 and the under because those European unders continue to hit. Before I get
Wow.
to that, the over under in the Colts and Patriots, which is the next Germany game, 44 and a half. Already these teams already are low. I mean, not the Colts, but the Patriots game. Patriots playing should lean under, and it's European game under. Why is it so high? You tell me. Thoughts on the Chiefs game first. I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw you in. I just wanted to throw that in there as well.
So it ended up being closer than I thought because the Chiefs were dominating halftime 21-0. Dolphins started to figure some things out. They had a chance to tie it up. I forget how it ended exactly. We kind of had it on the side, but Chiefs win this one in Germany. Yeah, Dolphins still have not beat a team with a winning record, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah,
So
you're right. 6-0 against teams under 500, 0-3 against teams over 500.
so there you go.
Bum beaters. That's all they are. Yeah, maybe a little again struggling to score in the second half, maybe something to focus on, but also you can just chalk it up to European game, but I don't know. It's a weird thing being out there. Like I said, the next Germany game, Colts Patriots, that's going to be, oh boy. The only thing that people were pointing out to me is the Colts are the only team this year to score 20 points or more every single game. So maybe that's why the total is where it's at. I
Wow.
I can that's what I said too. Wow, indeed. I mean, it's just playing in that
That's
dome.
surprising.
Playing in that dome can help out. If we're good on that game, we got the Ravens and the Seahawks. Absolutely just an absolute blowout, 37-3.
Hmm.
Are the Ravens the most dominant team in the AFC? Possibly the entire league? Question mark. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
No.
No. Okay. Who is the most dominant in your mind then?
Fuck. It's actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Now that you're thinking about it from top to bottom,
I'm trying to
this Ravens team is a problem. They're running. You can put anybody at that running back position. It sounds if you put you or I, we could probably get 4 or 5 yards a carry. You say that every single time. But Gus Edwards gets 5 carries, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their other rookie gets like 8 carries for 113 yards and a score. They're just throwing everybody. Lamar Jackson still rushing the ball, and then when they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll just actually run. We'll throw the ball." They have OBJ, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Bateman. I think if he's still out there and rolling, this team is crazy, and then the defense is just suffocating. Secondary is insane. At least I think the least amount of receiving yards or something like that. Just you can for sure look at what they lead, and they're up there on their defensive side. So I mean, between them, the Bengals are starting to get hot. So I would maybe that would
yeah.
be a nice little matchup. That's coming up pretty soon. The Chiefs are still up there. If you get them on neutral ground, even right now, maybe.
I mean, yeah,
But if the Ravens
that's
play
like the teams that I think of when you add like it's like the Chiefs are the one of the best teams
yeah,
and they've
but if
had
the
their
Ravens played the
defense as
Bills right
well.
now, I'm rolling with the Ravens. If the Ravens played, and basically, if the Ravens played the Eagles right now, I'd probably roll with the Ravens. Like they are red hot right now. I mean, it is bonkers. That's just like I said, right as of right now. I know it can still change in some time. But as of right now, this Ravens team is rolling, so they're looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean Seahawks. Can you just chalk it up to something similar to what the Lions did? They just ran into an absolute buzzsaw in the Ravens and they just couldn't do anything. I mean, The run game was non-existent. I think between the 4 or 5 people that ran the ball, like 28 yards or something like that, something ridiculously low. Just not a good game. I think DK Metcalf had 1 catch for 50 yards, so that was a nice little reception. But 3 for 36 for Lockett. Like, just the Geno Smith was locked down. He couldn't do anything. So that, I don't know. Seahawks, I feel like you can still, claim and be like, oh, we're still in this, just because even though you ran into a buzzsaw, people, this is the team. That's exactly that. If you're good on that game, Browns, Cardinals, not too much here. 27-0 win for the Browns. Well, Clayton Tune. The Browns defense. Well, yeah, they're going to take that team very far, just as long as Deshaun Watson just doesn't cook them on the offensive side with poor play / turnovers. And I mean, the only silver lining for Cardinals fans, Kyler Murray's coming back. Hooray!
It's a new Call of Duty's about to come out.
Oh, that's right. I did see that Thursday night. They're dropping it. He's done. The season's over before it even started for him. Any thoughts on that Browns Cardinals game?
The Cardinals suck. So they
No.
lose, they get destroyed, don't score anything. But yeah, like you said, you're gonna get James Conner and probably Kyler Murray back. So you've got that.
Yeah.
And
They're getting nice and healthy just in time to play the Bears in like 3 weeks. So there you go. That'll be fun. But either way, you want it's always that thing where like you want the Bears to get the best pick, but that involves them losing. So you're like, you don't want them to lose because it's fucking stupid. You don't want to be
yeah,
rooting. You don't want to be that guy rooting for the draft pick all year, because then it's like, that's no fun. It's a mess.
never want to root for your team to lose.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it entirely. On to an actual good game, possibly best game of the year, in the Texans and Buccaneers game. Let me say
It was
that again.
crazy.
Yeah, let me say that again. Texans Buccaneers might have had the best game of the year so far. 39-37 shootout. CJ Stroud has Panthers fans Google searching how to tie a noose, or for those crazy ones, they're Google searching where's the Panthers front office address. Going back, and that's just for the crazy guys. But back and forth, tons of offense. That running back Ogunjobi, I believe,
Yeah, the guy
Ogunbolabe.
that kicked the field
Yeah,
goal.
a clutch field goal. That was to go up 33-30 at the time, in like 7 minutes left. But the Buccaneers go ahead, score. Well, then they're like, fuck. But RIP to anyone that had Texans -2.5, scoring that touchdown, then taking the knee on the 2-point conversion. Oh, that's brutal. Absolutely brutal. They weren't going to kick the extra point with their running back, and then I guess they just didn't want to attempt a 2-point conversion with 2 seconds left. Again, with that idea that if they fuck it up and return it for 2, they'll tie the game. So, that's a bummer. That's a real
Wow.
bummer for anyone right there. But again, you just got to tip your cap. 470 yards passing by CJ Stroud, 5 touchdowns on the day. This kid's absolutely having a ball. Yeah, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Everyone else is also saying, the rookie season can have an explosion. You might have that sophomore slump. It is always that 3-year window to actually determine who, if he is or is not a good quarterback. But as of right now, I'm enjoying what I see in this kid. So this has been absolutely fun. Texans aren't even like, Texans and playoff is in the same sentence somewhat. They might be able to sneak into a wild card and aren't, again, they beat the Jags very early on in the season. So if they continue to win, they beat them maybe again later on in the season. It's crazy to sound like, but I might not even be worrying about this later on. Just might be talking on my ass right now, but it's not out of the window, out of like the
And
eye. Like, they can win the division. Like, that's just, if they might even have that idea. They already beat the Jags, and the Jags are the front runner. Why not them? They might have that mentality. Why not us? Why not now? That could be that just fuck you attitude, and they're playing with house money that the Texans might have. So big
wow.
win for the Texans. Just, I mean, big game for a couple people overall, like Tank Dell, Noah Brown on the Texans side, obviously CJ Stroud, uh, Rashard White had a good game for the Bucks. I can imagine, I think Mike Evans had a decent little game. Chris Godwin, not so much. Cade Otton, I think he had like 2 touchdowns.
Dalton Schultz,
Dalton
baby.
Schultz, yeah, Dalton Schultz had a nice game. He had 30 points on that side of things. But yeah, any thoughts on anything else on this Texans Buccaneers game?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, back and forth so much at the end, the field goal and then the Bucks scoring, and then CJ Stroud with like 40 seconds left
Yeah.
pulls an Aaron Rodgers, scores a touchdown. It's
Oh my
just it
god.
was wild for sure. I mean,
That's too much time. That's too much
too
time.
much time for Stroudy.
Too much
Him and the
time.
boys got it done. And yeah, Texans fans have a lot to be happy about. They got the right quarterback in this draft for sure, and he looks like a stud, man.
Without a doubt. I think I caught some meme and it was just like the guy that made that mental test. I guess that was the big addition to the draft, and he must have placed second behind Bryce Young for that, the cognition test. so
Mm.
so that guy's gonna be on the street. No one's gonna use that stat anymore in there to be like, oh, maybe he just isn't as brave. No,
So,
they're gonna worry about his fucking physicality, not his mental.
yeah.
But that, yeah. Onward to just a couple more games. Vikings Falcons. We were already kind of dipping our toe talking Joshua Dobbs earlier, but yeah, Vikings get the win 31-28. Joshua Dobbs actually has to come in later on. Joshua Dobbs might be the greatest slash smartest QB of all time. He is the passer, that might be the best nickname of all time now. A fucking degree in space aerodynamics or whatever you said earlier. Also, the fun stat that basically everyone has already heard, so I might as well say it again. His 5th team in a calendar year. His 5th team in a calendar year. It's bonkers that he's
How the hell is that even possible?
bouncing around in free agency and I guess trades now. Last time I remember, he got picked up by like the Titans on the win and you're in type game. Unfortunately, lost, but like crazy that they were able to even make it a game that the Titans were even that close. I think they only lost by a field goal or something like that. Now being added to the Cardinals on very short. Nothing. We was added to the team within like a week before the season started, and not the greatest record, but that's still impressive to do what he was doing. He beat the Cowboys. How about them boys?
Yeah,
Uh,
that was awesome.
and to have this game now, fun. So this is a good sign for them. Uh, barely any idea of what the playbook was. He came back. He came in as a backup, and this was his off day. He's like, I love that other meme that they were sending around. This is my 3rd day out here, and fucking won the game. Some also report where they said it was either Jordan Addison or KJ Osborne. Joshua Dobbs hadn't thrown passes to one of them. And that was the first time they had made a connection was just in a live game. So I just think that's absolutely crazy. Just getting
Wow.
your practice reps live in game. My only flip side question to the Falcons, besides good, glad that they finally started Heineke. That's probably why they were even close in the first place. And Falcons fans probably already kicking themselves like, why didn't they start him earlier? Why do they even have Bijan? Why do
Where
they have
is he?
Bijan? Where was he on that one stretch that again everybody else is already is keying in on, where they were 1st and goal at the 1, a false start. They do that end around to Jonnu Smith that gets them back to the 1st. Then they try and plug it up again with him, and then I think they ended up kicking a field goal, or they just I don't know if they even ended up scoring at all.
Yeah, I think they didn't score or something. I think they
Yeah,
missed. I think it got blocked. Like I think I forgot what happened, but I
yeah.
don't think
Either
they
way, like
scored.
that's absolutely bonkers. Like what are you doing if you don't? You have Bijan Robinson, you have him, use him. Crazy. And again, I don't even have him in fantasy. I didn't have him in anything. Not even gambling this week. Fucking just use him.
Hmm.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So maybe Falcons fans are a little pissed off, but maybe again, upside is you got Taylor Heineke, and you're not entirely out with that division. With that being said, if you're good on that game, we can move on a couple more. Commanders Patriots 20 to
Uh,
17. Oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, I was just gonna say that Joshua Dobbs is feel good story. It's awesome seeing that stuff. And yeah, I saw clips on the sideline. He was learning how to even just like take snaps from the center because they have never done it before. So
That's
they
so
were just
fucking
learning their
crazy.
cadences and stuff before he went out there. So it's just crazy that he was able to pull that off. So props to that shit.
That is insane. That is insane. Like, I really don't want to undersell how in like Bears have been practicing for weeks and they still can't win games. This guy's coming off the bus and he's just like, I got it. Just let me glance at the playbook. He did one of those things. I don't have any shocker. I don't have a book next to me. He did one of those things where you look at the playbook and he goes, oh yeah, all right, cool, got it. Yeah, Rue got that for sure. Uh,
Let's do it.
let's do it. All right, let's go out there, boys. Oh, I got Hawkinson.
And that's crazy because I didn't know you said like he was throwing passes to Addison Osborne like for the first time, and then like that stuff with the center too, and all that. Like, just like he, like they basically did nothing with him, and for him to just get in there and lead them
Yeah.
and help them win the game is
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And like again, it wasn't because of poor play that their starter went down for injury, and yeah, he's just like, well, fuck, here we go. Absolutely insane. Good, yeah, shout out to that. It sucks that he's in our division, but it is what it is. Bears gonna have to put. I think Bears got him, but Bears got the Vikings coming up after this Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, forget on that. Like I said, it was lightly can touch upon Commanders Patriots. Didn't really get anything from there. Was this the best representation of that battle of the mid meme? That usually always goes around. I would say they're even less. These teams are less than mid. Both are pretty awful. I really got nothing
Yeah.
on these teams, this game in general, other than just good luck to anyone involved. I hope everyone just came out healthy and unscathed. Maybe just a couple boo boos and a couple bruises, but yeah, nothing on this game. Anything on your end?
I had the Commanders money line because I just thought the Patriots are so bad.
I did too.
So
I had that a part of a parlay. The parlay didn't cash because of something else. No, it actually did. I think it cashed. So there you go. That was I saw that too. Commanders plus 120 against the Patriots. There's nothing on the Patriots worthwhile. So we're just glad we're on the same page. Great, good minds think alike.
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that's basically it on that. Colts Panthers. Colts get a road win 27-13. Basically, like I said in the preview for the Panthers game, for the Bears Panthers. If the Bears lose to this team, I will freak the fuck out. Uh only thing for the Colts is Jonathan Taylor's back. Jonathan Taylor, not a crazy game by any means, but he got the majority of the carries. He got a receiving touchdown. Jonathan Taylor is back to being the lead back. That's basically that. Any thoughts on the Colts and the Panthers?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Seth Taylor being fully integrated again. Good on him, and the Panthers continue to just suck ass. So
Yeah, keep going. Keep getting that trade. The stock to rise on that draft pick. Raiders, Giants. Raiders getting a 30-6 victory here at home. Smoking stogies and popping champagne after beating that lowly Giants team is wild. That is fucking wild, in my opinion.
yeah,
Act
they're
like you've been there before, especially if you're gonna go around and almost say the N-word, Max Crosby, on the Raiders social media pages. I don't think you want that going around.
I guess more so celebrating the new head coach and
Yeah,
the coach getting
yeah.
the win, but yeah, it's
The
also
optics
kind
can
of
look that way.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
too much, all of them, and also people just like people just don't get what's going on. Like I saw someone comment on a video of Crosby smoking the cigar, and they're like, "Ha ha! Of course, Crosby's the one to be smoking in the locker room." It's like, dude, everybody is.
Yeah.
Like, it is a little much, but yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, I can spin zone it, and I could see it where it's exactly that. You're celebrating the first win under new management. Okay, fine, but again, it looks a little tough when it was just an absolute blowout win against arguably the worst team in the league right now.
Against I don't even
They're
what's
the
the
worst
guy's
ranked. They're the
name?
worst ranked offense in everything, and points and yardage and just about every category. They are the worst. So
Tommy DeVito, that's the QB's name,
Tommy
right?
DeVito, yeah. And I mean, he's going to be the guy
But
because Daniel Jones torn ACL. He's done for the year. That's a tough break. Like I had in my notes, I didn't even want to make any jokes on the Giants. Like even as Bears fans, it would just be unnecessarily punching down just to do anything. Tommy DeVito ain't it. Daniel Jones torn ACL, done for the year. They're not even gonna get Tyrod Taylor back because he's got a broken rib or something like that. So
Oh,
it's gonna be Tommy DeVito for some time, and they're just gonna ride Saquon Barkley till his fucking wheels fall off until he gets some sort of. And I'm not wishing upon him, but that's just gonna be the way that it goes. He's gonna be getting the ball 60 times a game. He's gonna probably end up getting hurt. It's a shame. So it's an abide. That Giants team is bad. I want nothing to do with that squad.
yeah. Daniel Jones, I don't he tricked everybody. He got
Oh,
paid a
that
bunch of
bandit.
money.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what
I keep
happened.
referring to memes today, and it's exactly that. The Giants front office is the Tiger King guy. He's like, I will never financially recover from this. Yeah, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, that's
Enjoy
rough.
Wandale Robinson because you're not gonna be able to pay for any other wide receiver talent because you put all your chips in on Daniel Jones. Shut up.
And
I'm
you
sorry.
probably
Sorry
won't be
for
able to pay Saquon
yeah,
now,
exactly.
which they didn't even did they pay they only paid him a 1 year deal, I think,
Yeah, I
right?
think so. Yeah, there's only able to get that. I didn't mean to throw shade at Wandale Robinson. He's just catching some sprint some what is it called? Some loose ones. That wasn't intentional, but that's just how it be. Darius Slayton, maybe you can catch the strays. That's that. There you go. Either way, we got a couple more. Eagles Cowboys. This was just the battle of inches for the Cowboys, and they fucking lost that one 28 to
Hmm.
23. Yeah, I got that exactly written down. Football is just a game of inches. That's a tough loss for the Cowboys, and they didn't lose it in their regular Cowboys way, in their regular Cowboys fashion of just choking the shit out of it. It wasn't a lack of effort. It literally just the most unfortunate placement of literally Dak Prescott's foot
Yeah.
and the Schumacher ball on the reception. It just tough to roll the dice. Couple bounces of the ball to go your way. Cowboys could have won that game, but the Eagles still putting on a dominant performance. Jalen Hurts gets a little banged up, but the bye week comes around right at the right time for them. They'll be on bye next week. Maybe just gets well rested on something like that, whatever it may be. Eagles get a big one in their division right here, 28-23. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this one was a one people have been waiting for sure. These two teams are bitter rivals. It was a close one for sure, and yeah, just very unfortunate with the like you said, Dak Prescott going out of bounds, his foot so close, and then that knee was crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
half of his body was in the end zone, but the ball and his other knee wasn't. So
Yeah.
he was out. It's yeah, it's always Dan Orlovsky or whatever. It's a game of inches. Those kind of plays are crazy, and that's what shows what football comes down to, man. It's
Oh yeah.
wild.
Absolutely. This was definitely a tough one. Like I said, I don't know if you got any Cowboys fans. We call them. Make sure they're okay after that one. That was a tough break. Bengal on the primetime games. Bengals, Bills, 24-18 win for the Bengals. This is again just right around the Bengals are rolling. They go right around this time because Joe Burrow was healthy. Jamar Chase a little banged up now, but T. Higgins stepping up and doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Uh Bengals, like I just said, they're getting healthy. They're getting right. Steamrolling through teams. Uh, get that late touchdown towards the end, and it makes it a little bit closer. But the Bills weren't really in this all too much. Like I said, up until that last drive. Any thoughts on this game? Bengals, Bills, anything with them in general? Like I said, I can't. I know for sure the Bengals are on the uptick. The Bills now brought to my attention -120 for them to be into the playoffs, plus 100 for them to be out of the playoffs.
Hmm.
Interesting little change in the playoff in or out. So any thoughts on the Bengals and the Bills game?
Yeah, I mean, I've I've thought that the Bills would put up more of a fight here, honestly. I mean, they're fighting to prove they're one of the more dominant teams every week, and they're kind of in the same boat as the Dolphins sometimes for when they play these more dominant teams, they just fall flat on their face. I love Josh Allen, but yeah, just some, there's that questionable throws at times, an interception. I mean,
Pointing out something that we have been doing the past couple of years where yes, he's top of the line. He is one of the top QBs these past couple of years. And then on the flip side, if you saw that little animation that they had, the A side, because he likes all that old timey music, the Frank Sinatra stuff, and then you go to the B side, not so good. The turnovers, 93 since 2019 or something like that. I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot of fucking turnovers for one individual between the
yeah,
fumbles and the interceptions. Like I made mention to on the Friday show a couple weeks back, 20 in his 18 games last year, 25 turnovers. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to do.
he's always trying to make the big plays,
Yeah,
and
it's yeah, it could be a lot of that for sure. And it's when you're a gunslinger like that, that's gonna be the way that it rolls for sure. Uh,
100%. I mean, props to the Bengals. They play a great game. Joe Burrow is starting to cook it up. He's running around and doing what needs to be done. And I just wanted to show this fucking stripe section that they did was
that's
awesome. How
cool.
they pointed. Everyone in certain sections had to wear black and orange for the Bengals stripes, and they did it all. It was their first time doing it during the game, so
That's
that
sick.
that
What a
was
time to do
cool.
it during the primetime game on a Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the Red Hot Bill squad. That got the people in the right minds. Also, what are your thoughts on just what if you caught what Joe Burrow said on the way out? He kept saying his fingers hurting. I just love that's gonna be used. That clip's gonna be used a ton. That's football, baby. There you go. That was a good way to end that little segment on that. Finally, Monday night game, Chargers Jets. This game was weird. I don't know if you saw the stat line. I'll try and bring it up while I'm filibustering right now. I think Justin Herbert only had like 136 yards. Eckler only had like 40 yards rushing, and Keenan Allen might only had like 60 yards receiving. And yet the final score was 27 to 6. I, I don't understand how this is the way that it is, other than the fact that if you watched it, you know that Zach Wilson just can't hold on to the ball, getting
All
sacked and fumbling.
defense.
Yeah, he threw the ball 50 times, but no interceptions. But yeah, it's the Chargers defense, which was basically the worst in the league, if I'm not mistaken, one of the worst in the league. Just forced turnovers, made Zach Wilson turn the
I think
ball
they
over.
sacked him 8 times. I think was
You
a
might be right. I'm gonna try and get Jets had the ball 34 minutes to the Chargers 25, excuse me. And then yeah, I'm just trying to pull up the amount of sacks that the Jets had or the Chargers had. 8 times, you are correct. Eight sacks, 2.5 from Joey Bosa. So he had a nice
not
day.
good.
Khalil Mack had 2. The Tui Tupalula Lulu Lulu. He had 2. Uh my apologies to his family. Uh, but yeah, like you're looking at that, nothing outstanding, nothing crazy on anyone's box score stat wise for the Chargers, yet they're still able to come out and win by what, 3 touchdowns?
Basically, yeah.
I again, you get the punt return. Yes, again, you saw that the 2 rushing touchdowns for Eckler. That was the game. That was them. This Jets defense, all the power to them. There you go. Play the guitar. The Jets defense kept them in this game. It's got to be so super frustrating, so frustrating, that they just can't get this done. So, any thoughts on this Chargers Jets game?
Yeah, it was a pretty rough one. And a lot of punts, a lot of low scoring. I mean, yeah,
That's
they really
that's been the Jets narrative. A lot of punts come with this team, no matter what happens.
the Chargers mainly scoring from, yeah, they had the punt return and then just getting in great spots thanks to the defense. So, I mean, it's just the Jets are not that good. But they have a decent record still right now. It's in Aaron Rodgers. He was talking to Derwin James after the game. He said a couple weeks. He's thinking he'll be back. So let's see what happens. That's an
Yeah.
interesting story to keep an eye on with all that.
Yeah, the next 4 for the Chargers, they are 4-4. They might be 6-6 by the end of.
Average.
Yeah, they're gonna be might be 6-6 after these next 4. They have the Lions, the Packers, the Ravens, and the Patriots. That's their next 4.
Lose all.
There's a chance. I mean, they're in Lambeau for the game against the Packers, so there's that opportunity.
Lose. I hope the Packers win that game.
Yeah, there you go. I think that was entirely Week Nine's recap. And I don't really have any other news or notes from the week. Oh, actually, yeah, just in case. No, I did mention the Montez Sweat contract, so that was good. Now, yeah, just focus on getting Jalen Johnson, and it may be a small narrative, maybe something to pay attention to, but it can also maybe tie into a couple maybe QBs that we were watching. If you watch some Saturday college football,
Mm.
just poor QB play, a lack of quality starters all the way around the league. This is around the time where the starters are starting to get a little banged up, a little bruised. So some people are in. Some of the rookies now are getting their opportunity to step up, but overall, I thought maybe just some poor QB play. Also, in that Al Michaels, when I was talking about that from earlier, he mentioned that overall offense numbers from stats on players to just scoring in general is down since the last 10 years for whatever reason. But kicking is up because everyone can kick a goddamn 55-yard field goal now again these days. But
Yeah.
the offensive stats are just down, so that can also tie into what I was also thinking. Like unders are hitting at like a 70% clip, so pay attention to that too. It's been a crazy year for football in general. Like I can even on top of that, the public has been winning over against Vegas, which that usually never happens very often. You can always say water finds its balance. Maybe we'll get back into some quality QB play later on. That's usually bound to happen with the playoffs set to go. But even dipping our toe into more stuff, kind of college wise, this was a weird one for a lot of other QBs that are coming up. You saw Bo Nix have a nice game, if I'm not mistaken, with the Ducks. You had whoever's the Washington QB,
Is it like Michael, what's his name? I'm
Paxton.
it's something like that. Michael Fiend, like it's something Junior, Michael something Junior. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so people that are screaming at their in their radio or
I
however
mean,
they're watching
obviously
us.
Caleb Williams, but
Yeah,
it's been rough for him.
Caleb Williams. That
Yes.
was the one I kind of want to mention too. Him crying in his mother's arms. I'm not gonna just comment on that. It's a tough win. It's a tough loss, excuse me. But dropping 3 out of 4, and that's your performance. And then I thought the quote afterward was a complete joke, but apparently he was real. He just wanted to cuddle up next to his next to his girl or something all night and paint his nails or whatever and play Call of Duty. I don't know, whatever else. That might have been a joke afterward, but reading that was actually a real quote that he wanted to cuddle up and bullshit like that. Just maybe mental midget, maybe, having that pick, I might be leaning towards a different quarterback if I'm the Bears or something like that. So I kind of went on a ramble. I kind of went from
Mm.
A and got to W over here or on that one. But any thoughts just on the quarterback play? Maybe just on this Caleb Williams situation before we get out of here with the football stuff.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of them losing, I think Williams has been good from what I've seen. I mean, he makes some great plays and he looks good, and everything can't rely on him at the end of the day if the defense is also just getting cooked up by the other opposing quarterback. And like it was, they were playing Washington this week, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, Michael, that guy cooked them up. So it's rough for sure. I mean, it's been close games, all of them that he's lost. They haven't got demolished or anything really like that. So I there's some good quarterbacks in the draft that'll be in this draft for sure, and we'll see how it goes.
absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, with that, I don't know if I'm completely sold on him right now. So it's just I don't know. Yeah, if I say anything more, it'll kind of just be a regurgitation of whatever I said. So I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll wait for the draft and see how it plays out. Forget on that. We can focus on
some fantasy, and then we can dive on in quickly on some MLB and finish up with the tiniest bit of wrestling. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'm loading up my fantasy app. Hopefully you're doing the same. And we can go ahead and recap back from week 9. We had our matchup against each other, and I lost. So we're not talking about fantasy this week. We're done. We're gonna go ahead and focus on MLB. No, I gotta take it on the chin. It is what it is. It was a tough one. I was doing my usual where I have my what was it called? When you're super, I had my superstitions. I didn't want to look at the score because if I felt like if I looked at the score, I would have got cooked. And I had a feeling in the back of my head, like I'm actually might be up. I'm doing the math. I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, I got a feeling. And then it was exactly that. Zach Wilson fumbles, turns it over. And as soon as they said they were out at the 2, I'm like, it's over. They're going to hand it to Eckler, and that's going to be the end of my night. So still had an opportunity. The finishing touch, I lost. I'm burying the lead. Mike wins 142, 139. It burns. It hurts to lose by 3. I say it all the time. I'd rather just get mud stomped by 100 and know for sure that I had no chance. But you got it right there. A good one. 142, 139. You had to be ecstatic. What were your thoughts on this ball game, Mikey?
Oh, I mean, where do I start? This game was roller coaster of emotions for me, at least. I mean,
I'll
just to
even set the
start.
stage a little bit better. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh,
I
you're
had a
good.
6-point lead going into this night game, and I had said I'd texted you over and over. I'm like, I'm watching this primetime games. I'm gonna watch my team die.
And
Garrett
I don't
Wilson,
respond to you because I'm superstitious. I think I'm gonna jinx myself if I
yeah,
respond to you. Then I'm gonna eat into what you want. You want me
exactly.
to feed into that.
I
So
did.
if
I
I
did. I
do,
did
then
it
I
all the
lose.
reverse jinxing that I could, and it didn't work out this week. So that's why I said I'm what yeah. I play into it. Garrett Wilson fumbling. And even then, if he doesn't fumble, I still would have lost by 0.3. So that would be even more of a tougher loss on that side of things. So I'm just more mad at Zach Wilson for targeting Tyler Conklin at the end of the game instead of Garrett Wilson, your best fucking player on the team, and you want to go to Tyler Conklin. That was me. That was all I wanted to say on that game. Kenneth Walker could have also showed up and not got fucking shut out for 2 points, but change of pace there. I'm also just happy that my last second acquisitions on free agency, again, even with the loss, I'm still happy that I snagged Young Hoku, who had 19 and 25 for the Browns defense. Those were like last second switches. And then Rashard White had his best game on the week. But you had a nice little free agency ad as well. You made mention to it. Dalton Schultz having 27, a big game right there. And with 50, didn't do anything for 57 minutes, but that hook touchdown on Sunday night did me in for sure. Also, Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs. That was it right there. Basically like 16, 17 points right there. And I'll say it was a garbage touchdown. That's the definition because it didn't for me, that's a garbage touchdown because it didn't change the end of that game. I was just mad. I'm just mad. I was just mad. That was just me being pissy. A good game right there. You needed it for sure to keeping you in the playoff in the playoff talk. You're up there now. Oh, this is fun. There's a battle. Everyone, it's nice and tight. I still got a little bit of some breathing room, and that also we'll get to the other games because the number 1, 2, 3, and 5 seed lost. So the people down below were getting some hope back together. So that was exactly what was going on. Good game. I keep rambling on. Anything else that I missed?
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, that's pretty much everything. But yeah, I just was gonna say it was just crazy back and forth. I mean, I thought I was cooked, honestly. Dalton Schultz, he wasn't doing too hot at the beginning of the game, but then he started to turn it up, and the Texans really just were cooking. He did great. The Bills were played horribly against the the fucking Bengals. I mean, I was so excited to watch that game for fantasy purposes, and it was shit most of the time. I mean, picks and nothing going for the Bills, and so I was upset about that. And then, yeah, I mean, I was talking to my brother. I was saying, I was like, Josh Allen needs to throw a touchdown at Diggs right now, and that's my only shot of keeping this close. And literally with like 2 minutes left, fucking Stephon Diggs scored. I'll be straight up with my emotions. I was bouncing all around my apartment. I could not believe it. I spoke it into existence.
There you go. I mean,
And
rightfully
then,
so. There you
and
go.
yeah, I mean, going
fantasy.
into the Monday night game, losing still. And I mean, Eckler's a great player, and I was obviously very worried. And I'll just say the Bills defense getting 1 point, that was horrible. I was like, of course, they're just getting cooked up, gonna get nothing from that. But Eckler getting the early touchdown again, I was so excited. I was like,
Garrett
let's
Wilson
go.
fumbling.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm on cloud nine. Then Garrett Wilson started to get more receptions. He was starting to cook a little more, and then you had the lead. And honestly, near the end of the game there, once Garrett Wilson got that like 20-yard reception, and when he got 3 points, however much it was, and you were in the lead by like 2 points, I mean, I thought there had no chance of the Chargers getting the ball back at that point. I was telling my brother, again, we were watching it, I was like, I'm fucked. Like, that catch, I'm losing, I'm fucked now. And yeah, getting completely bailed out. Chargers are able to get a strip sack on fucking Zach Wilson and get it down at the fucking one. Like, it should have been the Chargers touchdown, but of course he was out of bounds right at the one, and I was
Literally
just,
everything went right for you on that
again,
one.
just
And
roller
that's how
coaster
that's how
of
it is sometimes.
up
I've been on
down.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. So I've been on both sides of it. I think I had like a couple points like that, 5-point victory a couple weeks ago. Just that's fantasy, man. That's exciting. Like I said, it sucks, but I just got to eat it. Got to do what I can.
Yeah,
Optimized lineup. We would have been 154.34 to 154.12.
to you winning.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that until now. And of course, again, just for anyone else, I don't put up our lineups and everything, but only had everyone else on a bye, would have only able to make one pivot move, and I fucked it up. I could have had Gus Edwards for an additional 13, 15 points or something like that, and sure enough, let's play Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I know. Rankings and everybody else, everyone and their mother told you to do that. But also George Pickens catching 2 balls for -2 yards didn't help either. So there's that. Yeah. But again, I mean, you had other people on your bench that could have helped you out as well. So yeah. Good game. That was a good game. It's as good as it's gonna get. That's as close as it's a close one. It's a close one.
I mean, like, it wasn't over after Eckler even scored. I was still only winning by 3 points, and there were still like 2 minutes left.
He didn't even look at. I think he attempted to throw a Garrett Wilson one time on that drive, and then he just didn't look at him afterward.
I tell you, that was the most stressful 2 minutes. This might have been the most stressful fantasy game I've had in a minute. I was telling my brother. I mean, again, those last 2 minutes, I was on my feet, staring at the screen, staring at Garrett Wilson, staring at Zach Wilson. Like, is he looking in his direction? Even like, I was
not a chance.
I was so, and yeah, I mean, I don't. But yeah, I was like, oh, he's looking on the opposite side of the field.
Tyler Conklin, goo-hoo. And then they're down at the red zone, opportunity to score a touchdown. Easy could have just tossed a fade to Garrett Wilson. Nah, let's look at our backup tight end. Let's look at Uganzama or whatever the fuck his name is.
Definitely a lot of things that were able to luckily go my way this week. But yeah, I mean, just great game. It was a great game, man. It's just is what fantasy's all about.
We'll get to week 10, but I'm looking for a bounce back. I got a lot of my players coming back. So Sebastian, the South African Turtles. I'm looking for blood. I'm ready for a kill. If you're good on our game, we can focus on next one I had in front of me was exactly that. I had Dom and Sebastian. How's that sound?
Yeah, hit it.
Coolio. In this ball game, the Dom, big win right here, 144.5 to 97.44. This one, just had Mahomes for 18. Aaron Jones and a nice little comeback game for him. He's able to get the start. 28 for CD Lamb. I did one of those where I heard his stat number and I did the in my ear. He caught how many yards? 191 on 10
Oh
receptions, if I'm not
my.
mistaken.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just seeing.
him
Oh,
and Dak are having a nice little connection these past couple weeks. So 42 and now 28 in back-to-back weeks for CD Lamb coming off that bye. And even the week before he had 19. So how you doing, CD Lamb coming to town? And then you had 144. You had Michael Thomas score 0. But how you doing? The Chargers defense had 27. My goodness, off those the punt return for a touchdown, the 8 sacks, and the fumble recoveries and interception. Or no interceptions, excuse me. 27 points from the Chargers defense. I mean, Sebastian could only do what he could. Josh Jacobs had 21, Keenan Allen with 15, and Tyreek Hill. I know he had that fumble, but unlike him, only 11.5 on the day. And unfortunate, his Dallas Goedert, his tight end, is going to be most likely out for the rest of the year with that fractured forearm or something like that with his arm. So tough break on the South African Turtle side, and a good win for the Dom and the Dominators. Anything else on this game that I might have missed?
no, yeah, I mean, just another rough week for Sebastian. Honestly, it's not even hitting the 100 mark. Herbert having a pretty rough game, even though they scored 27 points. So, and yeah, Bijan just not getting used to his full potential, as wasn't really able to compete with Dom on this one.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that Charger stat line. It's like, what if I told you Justin Herbert had 136 yards and Eckler didn't have 50 yards rushing and Keenan Allen didn't have a bonkers game? You're like, oh yeah, the Jets must have won 14-10 or something like that. He's like, wrong. No, you are wrong.
Well, yeah, that is honestly pretty wild. That's
Didn't
just
throw a
so.
touch, didn't do anything. Justin Herbert didn't have any sort of game, and yeah, they win so easily. That's just playing against the Jets, I suppose. If you're good on that game, we can focus on Ivan and Stinky Pete. How's that sound?
Yeah,
You,
let's see. Ivan
do you want to? Yeah, do you
P.
want to go ahead go roll with that one?
Yeah. Phew. Oh man. I mean, yes, Ivan able to get another win this week. He's starting
Keep
to get
rolling,
cooking.
rolling, rolling,
Yeah.
rolling. What? Keep rolling, rolling, rolling,
And
and
you
rolling.
know
Come on.
why? Because the Bills are Bills. The Bengals are starting to get rolling.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow starting to cook for him, Mixon. I mean, Jamar Chase doesn't have the best game, but
I think we jokingly said at the beginning of the year that how the Bengals go, that's where the Bengals will take Ivan where they go, and the Bengals are starting to get hot, so Ivan's starting to get hot.
yeah, I mean, it's literally what we were saying. All his season relies on the Bengals season, and yeah, they're starting to figure it out. Ivan's fantasy team now cooking it up. Cole Kmet, he picks him up 23. Stevenson for Ivan cooking it up. Everyone else kind of, just decent performances. Jonathan Taylor and AJ Brown both doing what they do. So gives Ivan team 154.
Yeah,
And
highest score on the week is Ivan with 154.
Pete 121, losing by 53 there, or 53, 30, 33 there, basically. Jalen Hurts having a great game. Mostert, decent game, 13. Kincaid having a good
Yeah,
game for
Dalton
him.
Kincaid becoming a nice little reception, nice little target for Josh Allen.
Oh yeah. Apparently Josh Allen called and said to get Kincaid in the draft to
Yeah, I
get
think it was like
him.
a personal, like, give me him. I want
Hmm.
Kincaid. So
And he
that's a nice little, and they've been slowly building up their little tandem together. So that's pretty cool.
targeted 11 times in this Bengals game. He had the one fumble, costly
Yeah,
fumble kind of, but
that's the only black mark the only black eye on this performance, that one fumble. But otherwise, just he had a fantastic game, especially when tight
mhm.
ends. You just need anything from the tight end position.
Yeah,
If
for
you can get more
sure.
than 10 points, that's a solid day from your tight end.
A lot of tight end scoring this week too.
Oh
I know
yeah.
just from watching Red Zone.
Was it National Tight Ends Day again? Who
That's what
knows?
I was thinking. I was like, why couldn't was it National Tight Ends Day or something where all these tight ends scored?
Oh yeah.
I needed one this week for fantasy, so I was like, I could have picked up any tight end and they were all cooking.
Just
But
about. Jonnu Smith had like 5 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Like you could have went deep and you still could have got something like that. So there you have it.
I mean, Cade Otton scored 2 times.
Yeah, dude.
It's like I was like, you could have picked him up and been like, hell yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, so Pete, Pittman, he's got Pittman and Addison in his flex spots. They did decent, but I mean, Cooper Kupp did nothing. Waddle did nothing really. Kareem Hunt and hit above 10 points, so that just cost Pete the game there. And I mean, he had Tank Dell on his bench who had 30, so that maybe could have helped a little bit, but I still think he would have lost. So that's just a rough one.
Ivan had Cooper. He could have counted that with 25. So a little bit, maybe a dash, a little bit of a wash, and then technically, if Ivan didn't play a defense, he would have got 0 points, and that would have been better than his -1 from the Giants defense. So there you have it. Another big win right there. Ivan, 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, on a roll. 154, 121. If we're good on that ball game, I can mix it up and finish it up with the Allens. AJ beating Allen, the Stork boy. How's that sound?
Let's hear it.
112-84 is the final in that ball game. AJ getting the win right there. Now both 5-4 on the season. Let's take a gander at what happened. Oh, yeah, it was mostly the Thursday night giving a big lead for AJ and didn't give it away, I don't believe. Derrick Henry and Deontay Johnson both went on Thursday. 19 from Derrick Henry, 22 from Deontay Johnson, scored for the first time in 668 days, while George Pickens sat on the sideline looking he had that 1,000-mile stare. He was gone. He was so pissed off. Rightfully so. Justin Tucker. Yeah, Justin Tucker had 15, so continue to just kick away. And let's see, anybody else standout performances? Saquon also had 14, so that was pretty solid there. On the flip side, Allen rolling with a bunch of QBs, can't find the right one. Will he find the right one? Who knows? Justin Fields coming right back around the corner, so another conundrum for him. Dropped CJ Stroud the week before, and then the week after, he's got 54. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah,
sucks
that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, sucks for me too. I was looking for a QB. I ended up landing on Derek Carr. But shout out to Derek Carr, my first 20-point QB performance this week. He finished with 20.46. So shout out to him. I don't want to keep diving back into my game. We're not focused on that. Poor performance from Kelsey because no Taylor Swift. He finished with 4.4. DJ Moore mirrored that, also with 4.4.
Yeah, what the hell? And
then Josh Downs, interesting play with Josh Downs. He was basically questionable all day going into there. A lot not too certain. Gets a couple reps, and I guess he went down in the middle of the game after just a catch for 10 yards or something like that. So tough break. And just not a good day when you can't really get the scoring going. 112 to 84 the final there. Any thoughts on the age against the Allens going against each other? Did AJ take the Gator name from him? Was that what it was for?
I don't know if that was up for grabs, but he just might have after this.
I gotta see who won the season series, unless I don't know if they played each other twice already. I would have to go back and see.
Yeah.
But either way,
I mean, they had to have played twice already now, right?
Not necessarily, because I mean, we've played twice, and I think we've only repeated 2 other players. I've played you twice now, and I played Dom twice. I don't think
okay.
So I think that would have been it. So yeah, there's a chance AJ and Allen now could have played to each other twice with these past 2 weeks, but I'm not for certain.
Okay.
So yeah. There you have it. That was that ball game. If we're good on that, we can go ahead and focus on this current week. A little preview of a couple of games going on, a preview of our matchups, lineups, and maybe some player performers to look out for. So how we feeling on that? Good to focus on week 10?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Coolio. Do you want to start first with your ball game against Ivan, or did you want me to start with my ball game against Sebastian?
I'm ready to go here.
Fire away, go for it. You and Ivan set the stage.
All right, me versus Ivan this week. We're both on a 2-game winning streak, so we're coming head to head with both of us red hot. This will be a big one. I want to win this one just so I can get that edge. I can get that jump. I can get 5-5. That's what I've been fighting for. Getting 2 wins. I mean, I was 2-5. Now being 4-5 is a big difference. If I'm able to get back to being average, it's back to 0 for me, back to square one. So I've been fighting to get there. And Ivan, if I have to get to beat you to do it, then God damn it, I will. Josh Allen. I mean, I say my team every week. It never really changes. It's, Josh Allen, Kamara, Eckler, Diggs, Jacoby Myers, George Kittle back this week, DeAndre Hopkins and Metcalf in the flex. I mean, that's disgusting. And I mean, I've got a decent bench, so I can make some moves if I need to. Gonna need a kicker this week, so I'll figure that out, Ivan. I'll let you sweat this whole week until I make a decision. Bills are playing the Denver this week, so hopefully they can. I've got the defense. I've got Allen and Diggs. Hopefully they can all have a good game. And when I look at my team on paper, I always say it's stacked. So hopefully they can perform to their standards, and I can get another win this week. Ivan's got a great team, man. Burrow, Mixon, Chase, all been cooking. Got Cooper and Stevenson in the flex spots, and Ayuk, Taylor. I mean, very good players all around. So we've projected very closely here within our points. So we'll see how it goes. I'll wish the best of luck to you, Ivan, as I always do, but I need this win, man. Come on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at a couple matchups, looking at a couple people in your squad. I'm for whatever reason, I'm liking Metcalf to bounce back against Washington. I also just got a weird feeling with Kittle and that I got a lot of people going on that game as well myself. So maybe even just having Kittle against the Jags, I feel like that's a weird matchup. You don't really see the Niners and the Jags play each other, so I feel like that can be bonkers. And I'll pump the brakes just a little bit. Kamara against Minnesota. It's a high projection. I don't think he's going to get the yardage necessarily, but there's always going to be that opportunity with the reception. So obviously, still Kamara is a must start at all times.
Oh yeah.
On the flip side, like we were making mention too, Jonathan Taylor is back, so he's going to be getting the bulk of the touches, especially against a tough in the sense that it's just tough to watch in the Patriots team. Also looking at Jamar Chase, a little banged up, so maybe put on the flak jacket. That's going to be something to watch all week for him and his health. Exactly. But he's got Burrow and he's got Mixon, so he's got a couple more Bengals to rely on in that sense. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one between you and Ivan. And yeah, definitely when it comes to it's not crunching time. So these games, these wins right here, when you guys are as close as each other on the leaderboard, it's going to be big. So yeah, both of you. The best of luck to both of you on this one. This is gonna be an important one.
Hell yeah. We've got a battle of tight ends too. And
Evan Ingram and George Kittle
head to head.
That's good one. Yeah, good note right there. That's fun. I think I told you guys on Sunday, someone in my brother's standard league, just because Evan Ingram was on a bye, 12-man standard league, let you know that too. Drops Evan Ingram. Just drops Evan Ingram. I know maybe you need to make a move, dude, but scooped him right up. I know we got Mark Andrews on that squad as well, but the more the merrier. Mark Andrews has a bye week coming up in 2 weeks. Evan Ingram's can fit right in, no problem. So I'll sit on him. And that's just playing defense, not allowing somebody to have a decent tight end in a 12-man. It takes away points for everybody else. Also weird. I don't want to keep being like me on this one. In that standard league, currently 6-3. Second in the league in the standing, in the rankings, second in points for and second in points against, and we're second overall. So that's fantasy. Wow. just that's fantasy.
1,000 points scored.
No other way to put it.
Yeah, I got no words. That's like 1,025 points for and like 950 points against. Like like I said, of our 3 losses, of our 3 losses, I think we got obliterated one game by like 100, but the other 2 were pretty close. So that's why
Okay.
I can only think that it is the way that it is. Oh, either way, that's just again fantasy. That's why it's so
fantasy.
fun. It's why it's so much fun. I can't get enough of it. It's literally why I'm making a little project documentary on it. That's why we're doing that. If you're good on your game and good on me talking about my brothers out of the league, I can focus on my game really quick, and then we got 2 others. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it won't be too long on this one. Like I said, just glad to have my A squad back, hopefully, and get in there. Just decent matchups, but a lot of them are playing against each other. We also keeping my eye on Debo, so I guess in that same, I'll steal that comment from you. I'm gonna make Sebastian sweat whether or not I'm playing Debo, but guys, as long as we got McCaffrey back in that team and the Sun God, I can only hope that we're doing pretty well. Mark Andrews has a tough matchup against Cleveland, but Cleveland sucks, so I can only hope that they suck. But I don't know that when it's a division matchup, as tough it is that'll be interesting too, and just. Yeah, just more or less, Rashard White coming off his best game probably ever. So hopefully he can just have a duplicate of that. I'll be watching on the other side. Adam Thielen, of course, will be going up against the Bears, so he'll just have to cook. He'll have to because he's playing up against the Bears. And for that same reason, everyone hating on Bijan. Where's Bijan? Why is Bijan not playing? Oh, he's going to probably play this week against Arizona, and he's probably going to fry them alive. So Bijan Robinson for like 30 points this week. Other than that, yeah, just also looking on Sebastian's squad. We played each other before, obviously. He's got the Herbert and Keenan Allen's hook. He's gonna have to find another tight end. Not only is Dallas Goedert hurt on a bye, so he's gonna make me scratch my head, what's going on there. And also on his buys, I'm catching a break. Don't have to deal with Tyreek Hill this week, so phew. So he'll have to make a quick decision as to what he's gonna roll with there. I can only hope for the best on my side and the worst on his side for at least for this week. So that's that. Sebastian, I hope you lose to me by a lot. That's that. Got any comment on our game before we go on to any other?
I mean, you're getting your team back after all the buys, so if Sebastian's got Tyreek on the buy, and that's really the big one for him. And yeah, no Goddard, so we'll see what he pivots to there, but should be a good one.
Yeah, for the most part, bye week, bye Mageddon, bye week hell is over for me. So I can put my hands up and kind of just not have to worry about that too often. So glad that's over with. If we're good on that, we can focus on you know what, they're neither of them really kind of filled in their lineup, so might as well go with the least filled lineup first. I got AJ and Pete over here. How's that sound?
Yeah.
All righty, looking at I'll go with AJ's squad as it is more put together as of right now. Both of them looking to fill in defenses this week, but I think no, I don't think either of them have pivot options for defenses. Regardless, Prescott coming in for AJ because I think Lamar Jackson. Oh yeah, just doesn't like the Lamar Jackson matchup against Cleveland. Makes sense. Barkley gonna be their Giants' only hope, really. Still looking for Devontae Adams to maybe have a bounce back game. He's been on the lower side of things these past couple weeks, but Aiden O'Connell in there. Probably another full week of practice. He'll probably be the target machine right there. And then Sam Laporta. He has been a solid tight end all week long, coming off the bye week. That'll be nice and on there for AJ's side of things, and can kind of only go on the people that are in Pete's lineup. So as of right now, he's got what 4, 5, only half of his lineup set. It is what it is. I think Dalton Kincaid going on Monday night ought to be nice, even though it's Denver. Also have Michael Pittman Jr. He's been just as consistent as can be, honestly. I was talking about this on the Friday live show. Besides his 4-point performance in week 4, here's his lines. Again, I'll skip over week 4. 23, 12, 16, 10, 20, 17, 18, and 14. That's been Michael Pittman Jr. all year. Consistent.
That's that is as consistent as can be. So if you at
He's
least
gotten 10 plus targets he's gotten 10 plus targets in 5 of those 9 games.
yeah, that's a solid little guy to have right now. So Michael Pittman Jr. And again, what we were saying earlier, in the Colts are the only team to have 20 plus points every single game. Maybe that's a factor. Michael Pittman Jr. Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss have been helping out for sure, but you gotta get to the red zone. You gotta get there somehow. Michael Pittman Jr. is gonna help. So again, that can be the only thing that we go based off of of the lineup right now. Pete, set that lineup. Any comment on that ball game right there?
Yeah, I mean, maybe some waivers being made. It's currently Tuesday as we do this, so we'll see if they drop any people and get the lineups all set up for this upcoming week. But yeah, Pete's lineup's looking rough right now. 5 people on buys in his lineup, so hopefully
three of his top 5 picks, I would assume, with Cooper Kupp, Waddle, and Jalen Hurts all on bye this week. And
yeah, that's rough.
For what it's worth, Raheem Mostert, a top running back, he's the number 2 running back still on the year. He's going to be on bye, so that's
and considering that the only other running backs Pete has are now Hunt and Gibbs, those are literally the only 2 running backs on his roster.
Hey,
so.
Pete, you need a running back? Call me, brother. We can make some
Pete,
moves.
I got some running backs, man. Hit me up.
We can get some deal. We can get it done. We can get the ink to paper. We can get something figured out. If we're good on that ball game, we got Allen and Dom. We take a lead on that one? Go for it.
Allen, Dom. Let's see. Whew. Dom's gonna have Mahomes on the bye week, and in same transition, Allen's gonna have Kelsey on the bye week.
Mahomes and Mahado?
Yeah, both out. Why do I have to be Mahado?
You told everybody?
So Allen doesn't have Kelsey or Puka Nacua. Dom doesn't have Mahomes. Both in the lineups currently. Janking up the projections. Again, I'm sure that they'll figure it out and start the people that need to be started. In terms of Dom's team, he's had Jefferson on the IR. He can now be taken off the IR depending on when the Vikings decide what to do with it. We'll see if he does get taken off. Maybe not this week, but Dom should have Justin Jefferson back soon. This should be a good one between them. Allen currently Sam Howell, and having Foreman and Pollard in, and Chris Olave's been decent. DJ Moore looking to bounce back, and Dom, Aaron Jones doing decent now. Javonte Williams, who he got from the free agency, essentially, he's a good start for him when he needed a running back. And yeah, CD Lamb is Dom's big player. I feel like he's always just getting a shitload of points, so always got to be on the lookout for him. And Mike Evans is always, I feel like, can get those big time plays out of nowhere, can just score like 10 points in one play or some shit. So always got to look out for someone like him. It'll be a good game.
I'm looking ahead. I was looking at some stats. Tony Pollard has 149 touches on the year, no touchdowns. Sounds like he might be due sometime soon for some scores.
Yeah, and especially against the Giants.
Yeah, I know that obviously Prescott to Lamb has been the connection for sure, but he was almost in there. Pollard, they called it back, and then it ended up being that touchdown pass to Tolbert or something like that in the back of the end zone. Either way, I think Pollard might be due for an anytime touchdown coming up sometime soon. But yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking the Deontay Foreman revenge game. So don't get me again. You might scoff at the Foreman play, but I think that'll be a nice play considering the Bears are just going to feed him the ball.
Oh yeah,
yeah. On the flip side, yeah, no Mahomie. I mean, his backup would have been Kirk Cousins, but that's not an option either way. So you're gonna need to make some moves for that. Aaron Jones getting back into the swing of things, even though it'll be in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Down some secondary help. I know Minka Fitzpatrick out most likely for the year. And even though TJ Watt's there, their rush offense, their rush defense has not really been there. So Aaron Jones could have a nice little day.
Yes.
And again, CeeDee Lamb just on a roll right now. He can have one against the Giants. As long as he needs to score early, because the Giants, the Cowboys are most likely just going to mollywop him, probably go up 28-0, and then they'll probably just bench him probably like midway through the third quarter, fourth quarter, something like that, after they're up like 45-2 or something stupid. So, yeah, should be another interesting one for sure. And again, 5-4 versus 4-5 is a big game. They can either be the exact same record at the end of the day, or Allen could be 2 games above 500, and Don would be below 2 games below 500. So this is a both important game. This is important wins. It's a huge week for everyone involved. Every single game. So,
oh yeah,
like I said, nut crunching time, right around where we not decide for sure, but it gets really tough to start going on streaks to get into our playoffs right around here. So this is it. This is the good time, good things rolling. So look forward for that. Get in your waivers, get in everything else. Make sure you're watching for. You're not going to watch the game, but make sure you're watching your lineups, because they got that Colts and Patriots Germany game on Sunday morning. I think that'll be the end of the European series after that. But yeah, still got to look out for that, and then just make sure you got your gambling and everything else and set for you. So that's fantasy. That's everything else in between. I got any final thoughts before we move on?
Oh, best of luck to everyone as always, coming from the commissioner, and let's have a great week as we always do in the D's and Nuts Fantasy League, man.
Yes. We always represent fantasy football as best as we can in that league, and I think we do a mighty fine job, if I don't say so myself. We're killing it over there. Yeah,
100%.
that's exactly right. That's what we're rolling with. Into some quick MLB talk, and then we'll wrap it up with a little wrestling note. So how about that? Let's get into that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, White Sox are cutting loose with just about everybody and anybody in between, and then acquiring everybody else's junk.
I'm gonna get my charger real fast, so if you want to just keep hitting it, I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I'll fill away as
sounds
we're
good
about it. So yeah, just getting into it. If anyone has under a rock, breaking news from this past week, from this weekend or whatever, from the week, excuse me. White Sox are not picking up the options on the following on Tim Anderson. You're not gonna be seeing Liam Hendricks. You might be getting a Bobby Bonilla deal out of Liam Hendricks. Not entirely how the door is shut on that, but Yasmani Grandal, Deuces, and Elvis Andrews, thank you for coming out. Trimming a lot of the fat, trimming a lot of things that are going wrong with this squad. And they said all the right things. Chris Gessie did. Excuse me. I think that's the Bears guy. I always get them all mixed up. All these old white people names. Just losing Tim Anderson. I'm more than okay with that. I was kind of on that side where already like Anderson's poor performance off the stuff off the field was clearly a problem on the field. I was advocating for him to get traded during the middle of the season, and that couldn't get done for whatever reason, but fine. Deuces. I'm sorry. It sucks. He will always have the Field of Dreams game and a couple highlights there, and just that home run where you pimped it and you threw your bat against the Kansas City Royals. We'll have those moments. We'll have the time, we'll have that year or two when you were a solid shortstop, not the best, not the worst, but it kind of trickled off and fell off. And it, kind of an interesting question going forward with Tim Anderson and maybe his future. They were throwing it up on the radio when I was listening. Does he stay as a shortstop, or could he move to second base on a new squad? Like I said, with him getting older, the accuracy and just TAE6 or whatever, the TAE7, whatever position it is. I think it's TAE6. Being his nickname, maybe move him over to second. Not that big of a deal, but you get a little bit of a pay cut. I was kind of thinking, arguably, I can't say for sure, and it's only been a year without the shift. I would say, with the shift being not with that being banned, I would say it's kind of almost even Steven opportunity where the second base might be just as important because the left-handers are not. You don't have to whatever. Just me just speaking out loud. I can't be for certain on that. So Tim Anderson getting the boot, his future uncertain. Again, the window is open for him to maybe return as a White Sox, but I'm not pushing in that direction by any means. The question then becomes also, do you fill that with a veteran shortstop until Colson Montgomery is back and is actually ready to roll as our new up and coming prospect, or you just give Colson Montgomery the ball right away and just say, hey, here's shortstop, do what you can. You're our guy. Get as many reps as possible. We're punting these next couple seasons. We want to see you improve. Hey, I'm not opposed to that either. I'm not. Oh, I don't want I don't want them punting on all the seasons. Giving up entirely and having 100+ lost seasons the rest of the way out. But either go with the guy that we're expecting to be a big dog, or just exactly that. Go with Colson Montgomery. Other than that, glad Yaz is gone. He just was non-existent. Unfortunate that Elvis Andrews tried. I'll give him that. Elvis Andrews tried while he was here, so I can't poo-poo him in any sort of direction. Just older, you knew you weren't gonna get old Elvis or prime Elvis Andrews back anytime soon. So there's exactly that. And again, Liam Hendricks, chance for him to come back again, but just kind of giving that Bobby Bonilla deal. I think we're the splitting that $15 million over the next like 5 years. And the guy just wasn't here. I mean, obviously he had cancer. He was sick. Can't take him down for that, but the guy he's got to be here. As heartless as that may sound. So it sucks. He's going to be around, and I'm sure he'll be back sometime soon. So that'll be nice. Final thoughts lingering really was just seeing, and I can't, I wasn't know if it's for Scherzen, but Dylan Cease on the trade block, just showing me again that this new GM is cleaning house, letting everybody go and acquiring just about all these new coaches. They're all from like the Angels management. So kind of weird. Any thoughts on the White Sox? On the White Sox right now, currently, with everything I kind of just summed up right there, all the recent cuts and people and sayonaras from everybody, and then the recent hires at the front office. Anything on that end?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you covered just about everything there, and the Sox are just going to be horrible. I mean, that's the mindset I have right now. We got to see them be at least somewhat decent for the past couple of years, but we're going to be bad now.
Yeah, I don't want to be delusional in any sort of way. I'll say the comment that everybody, it's just, 2 years ago, the Rangers lost 100 games and then they won the World Series. That is possible for the White Sox. They need to spend. They need to actually perform when the roster comes out, when the schedule or when the lineup comes out, people on that lineup need to perform. So that needs to happen. There needs to be a competent manager. All that needs to be, mixed up, and then that can kind of somewhat give you a chance at being in the World Series sometime, but not really on the table. It's still there because the White Sox are in the AL Central, and we all know that that's an absolute just dog shit division in general. Both the Centrals are. But that's exactly that. The hope is not entirely out of the window because, again, there's the small chance of actually making a move and paying people, and there's just the small chance because the AL Central is just so bad. So it won't be over until it's entirely over for them every single year. But it's looking very bleak, as they would say. Very, very low light for the White Sox as of right now. On the flip side, on the counter side, for the Cubs side of things, they went ahead, fired their manager David Ross, and hired Craig Counsell. Counsell, I believe that's how you actually pronounce it, from the Brewers. There you go. There he is. I think my initial reaction was just I think that move alone bought them 4 to 5 wins due to the fact that they won't have David Ross to overmanage any more games. Felt like there was one too many times that happened. I didn't listen or watch very many Cub games, but when I did tune in, it sounded like it was exactly that. David Ross pitch hitting PCA for Yan Gomes when it's, bottom of the 8th or top of the 8th or something like that, and the Cubs just need a go ahead run or something like that. PCA's in a prime spot, and they bench him for a 38-year-old catcher or something like that. Crazy.
On
Like I said,
Gomes time.
yeah, exactly. Here we go. I come to thrive in these prime spots. He didn't have the worst year, but that's exactly that. This is a good move by the Cubs for sure. This is a good manager, one of the better managers just overall in baseball. It's just a matter of can the Cubs, repeat anything similar to the last season, where if you kind of watched, everyone sort of had a hot streak at a different time. There wasn't very much overlap, so it wasn't like there was the worst of times and the best of times. It was like a consistent. At worst, they were spotty, getting like a win or two here, a loss, and then picking it up with 2 or 1 more win at a time. And then at the very best, they were winning 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row. So that's kind of how it was. You got hot streaks from Marcus Stroman. You got solid performances from guys like Jameson Taillon the entire year, actually. Justin Steele was Cy Young up until basically the last 3-4 starts throughout the year. So can you get that? I mean, they don't have Bellinger coming back again, not completely out of the window, but it's not very often do they decline the option and then come back to the same exact team. Not often, but not impossible. So if there are Cubs fans that want that some glimmer of hope. But again, everyone else, I can't have a realistic conversation because they all want to say that Ohtani's coming to town. So there's that. Like I said, they're going to need some additions. Like I said, with losing Cody Bellinger, they're going to need some starting pitching because Justin Steele is the guy for sure. And like I said, he got a spot for me because he's a fantasy football guy, but you can't rely on Kyle Hendricks and his 88-mile-an-hour fastball for 162 games out of the year, or, for 20 starts out of the year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The Cubs will always be a free agent hot spot. Like someone will always be at the back of their mind, like, oh, the Cubs, Chicago, good market, decent team, has their fucking head on their shoulders. So it's not, it's not entirely out of the range. If Seiya Suzuki catches a ball, they could have been in a similar spot that the Diamondbacks were in. Play the Brewers and probably end up beating the Brewers. And then, that thing where if you play the Brewers and you beat them, you go into the World Series. It's just an automatic ticket as of right now. So that could have been them. It's very interesting. So I guess that's the long-winded way of me saying that this is a good move by the Cubs to get Craig Counsell. I was talking to Bill, our former co-host of the Dodgers podcast, and just our Cubs, our local Cub analyst, basically here. He enjoyed that. He said, loved David Ross as a player, did not love him as a manager, and I think that's the correct answer. He good for the optics, not good for the X's and O's of playing baseball. So that I think that's exactly that. Good move by the Cubs. Just gonna have to see what they do to rebuild that team, because Marcus Stroman opted out, Bellinger out again, like I already made mention to. Can you get a Cy Young-esque performance again out of Justin Steele? Can all these young guys step up and perform like Brett Morrell did, and get some PCA, actually get PCA some at bats or something like that? Wow, it's a dark day when I've talked more about the Cubs than I know about the White Sox as of right now. So anything on the Cubs as of right now, anything with that move in general? Any thoughts on that?
Oh, on my end, not too much. I'm not too familiar with it, but I'm sure that you got everything there. So if Bill says that they got a good one, then I trust him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning on too. If Bill likes the move, I mean, then you can't really go wrong. At least I'll refer to that for at least for the Cubs side of things, and most of the at least with the Blackhawks side of things as well. He's kind of the inside track on that as well. But yeah, I think as far as we were talking about last week, is Chicago the worst big city market? This is times where, again, we're not Cubs fans, but you can flip it and be like, actually you're wrong. The Cubs are on the up and up and somewhat. Connor Bedard is nice to watch. The Blackhawks aren't there intentionally, but that's a blueprint. And you know what? The Bulls are doing okay. They actually beat the Utah Jazz last night. I didn't watch too much of that game, but when they're actually performing better than I think they will, that's actually pretty decent. So maybe I'll dive in. I can dive in on Friday about the Bulls and somewhat what we expect out of them. But there's that. We can, if you're good on baseball, talking baseball, we can quickly wrap it up with some wrestling talk. Just one quick breaking news that broke today, and then, I mean, we don't need to linger on Crown Jewel results, but it happened. So how's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Cool. Quick with the breaking news that happened just maybe like 10 minutes before we went live on this episode. So it'll be a whole 24 hours. So I'm kind of dampering on the breaking news part, kind of ruining that. But either way, NXT will be on the CW in October of 2024, making the move from USA Network to the CW, joining NWA Power when they're most likely going to be already on the CW at that time. Different time, different day, different time. NXT sticking with their Tuesdays. Time slot probably up in the air still, so not for sure locked in at 7:00 or whatever. But interesting for sure. I also saw the note that WWE is going to be receiving 70% increase in their rights fees. So for making this move, sounds like whatever their commercials, whatever their advertising, more money into WWE's pocket. And they kind of need that from whatever that buyout kind of tanked their stock, and now it's back up. Stocks are weird. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on NXT moving to the CW October 2024?
Yeah, just kind of out of nowhere. I mean, it's USA. I feel like that's always been the home of a lot of WWE programming. So
I mean, we're in direct competition with NXT every week. We've been going head to head with them these past 43 weeks. Still on the losing side of things, unfortunately. I know there's going to be that 1 week where we get the big 700,000 boost and most likely beat NXT that 1 week, but we're losing. We're working on it still, going head to head. But I think that's it's still a smart move. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're fine. Hey, we're fighting for those views. AW will get them. But yeah, I guess it's good for them to mix it up on different channels. Just add more shows on different channels to get more people to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with them going to the CW, it might tank a little bit, might be a little bit of difference, but I'm not. I always say it all the time. I'm not worried about. I never worry too much about ratings in the sense. Like, I don't work for the network, so that's not my job to worry about ratings. I worry about if it's a good product, and if I like it, I don't give a fuck if 500 out of 1,000 people are watching it. I don't care if 5 people are watching it with me. I like what's going on. I'm watching it. That's that every single time. If you're good on that one, we can focus quickly on to Crown Jewel. Like I said, didn't really get too much. Didn't see anything of it at all. I can just breeze through. I mean, breeze through it. I will literally say every single result right now. Sami Zayn beating JD McDonough. I don't know who the fuck that is. I guess I think he's the
he's in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, he's the Judgment Day lackey. So that was on the pre-show. Rollins gets the win against McIntyre. Everyone's wondering what's going to happen with McIntyre now. There's reports that he's not going to resign. There's reports that he's already in talks of resigning. There's talks that he's already re-signed a whole new contract. No one knows nothing besides Drew McIntyre right now. So that's that as well. Rhea Ripley retains. Okay, makes sense. Solo Sikoa beating John Cena again. Everyone freaking out like, oh man, Cena putting all these guys over. Right, he should be. He's 50 years old. That's kind of his job now. That's what everybody else is doing. You're a little late to the program. Logan Paul wins the United States champion over Rey Mysterio. Everyone clamoring and claiming, oh my God, Logan Paul saved him. He shouldn't have been in that. He should have been in a better spot to begin with. That's my take on that. You shouldn't. Mysterio did a full flip, probably in the mind that I don't know. I don't want to put in that mindset. Logan Paul and Jake Paul. get safer. I don't know. Be safer. Io Sky. Oh, Sky defeated Bianca Belair. Oh, I didn't
That's
even know that Sky was the champion.
Yeah, I think Kari Sane came and helped her.
Yeah,
It's
that was
like,
the big pop too. Between that and then some New Japan lady named Julia is getting added, so everyone on the WWE side of things is jumping around and clapping again. It's always so funny that anytime that a New Japan person goes to AEW, they're like, "We're supposed to know who this person is. You're just the guy. Oh my god, you're you got to be the smart fan. You got to know everything to know who this person is." And then as soon as they get a New Japan person, they're like, oh my god, they're the greatest wrestler of all time. I can't believe it. You know who we got? Julia. Okay. Have fun with that.
yeah.
It's just it's baffling. Enjoy the wrestling however you'd like. Let's see. Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. Rhodes wins. Cool. And then Roman Reigns and LA Knight to completely take all the piss out of LA Knight's run, let them lose to Roman Reigns, probably in whatever way that he did. Probably some goofy way where
Probably
the
cheating.
the bloodline probably got involved and Roman Reigns got the win. So that's Crown Jewel. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. More updates. I thought I was just reading that some more stuff, but yeah, Roman Reigns wins. Yeah. Boring, predictable as all hell, and that's that. Like I said, I would hope that there's some sort of highlight that I could dabble into and brush upon, but it doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem that is the way that it is. So
No, the one thing I saw people talking about was the Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio spot. Like, that's the
yeah.
one thing I saw.
Yeah, I guess if your highlight is a botch slash save me play of the entire day, then that's probably not a solid
Congrats.
pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean that's that. I mean, just I guess on the pay-per-view side of things, we got Full Gear coming up. Looking forward to that in about 10 days as we're recording this now. I think it's on the 17th or 18th.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Between there's or is that is the Chicago show the kickoff before it, or maybe the
AEW
weekend
Full Gear's the
after?
17th, and then
Okay, so
the
that show,
Dynamite's after that.
yeah. Okay, so we'd be getting the recourse after all that. So that ought to be fun. That ought to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Pretty solid.
I'll
If
get
you're
to
good
see
with
Jay White with the title.
I hope not. Maybe he still has the title because he stole it. Yeah, we got to see who that devil is. That's getting mighty interesting to see who that finally
Very
is.
true.
I just hope it's not a wet fart or something like that. It's like he pulls off the mask and oh my god, it's Mustafa
Ari
Ali.
Daivari.
It's Mustafa Ali from the Reckoning or whatever that fucking little faction was.
Oh my god. T-Bar.
It's Mace. Yeah, that would be. Don't get me wrong, I would love me some Dijakovic in AEW, but do not give me T-Bar or Mace, whichever one he was.
No.
Yeah. If you're good on wrestling, everything else in between, check please. I think we can wrap this bad baby up. Number 43 in the books. In the books, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for tuning in, liking, subscribing, following, liking the X-Bomb Sports for the wrestling, following that as well, doing what you can. Checking me out on Fridays live, twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports live. Like I said, we're back here every single week, same time, same place on the Wednesdays, as long as I get my lazy ass in and actually edit these bad boys. So that's the thing. Mike, always want to thank you for joining in and helping me out over here. This is always fun.
Anytime, man.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Alan, thank you for taking those notes. Yeah, a lot of notes to be taken. Have you paid attention on the Friday show? He had Troy's calling from there. It was pretty good. Troy, on that same note, thank you for the updates and for tuning in as well. Big shouts out to you, my guy. Anything else, everything else, good luck in fantasy, good luck in gambling, good luck in life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, whatever you want to do. Everything's fine and dandy over
Come
there.
on.
There we go. Hell yeah. Take care. We'll see yous. Wow.